Circle round for freedom, circle round for peace, for all of us imprisoned, circle for release, circle for the planet, circle for each soul, for the children of our children, keep the circle whole. Circle round for freedom, circle round for peace, for all of us imprisoned, circle for release, circle for the planet, circle for each soul, for the children of our children, keep the circle whole. Circle round for freedom, circle round for peace, for all of us imprisoned, circle for release, circle for the planet, circle for each soul, for the children of our children, keep the circle whole. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in, I'll breathe in peace. When I breathe out, I'll breathe out love. When I breathe in.
Welcome. My name is Marcus Greyhawk. I'm the Director of Music Ministries at our congregation. My pronouns are he, him, and his. I'm joined by my new assistant, Jack, and we're going to join together in... Jack, try to focus. We're going to join together in song, and in a moment we're going to light our chalice, and we'll invite you to do the same in your home. So if you can find a candle, a chalice, something to light, that would be a good thing to do as we sing together. Morning has come, night is away, rise with the sun and welcome the day. Morning has come, night is away, rise with the sun and welcome the day. Morning has come, night is away, Rise with the sun and welcome the day. Morning has come, night is away. Rise with the sun and welcome the day. Morning has come, night is away. Rise with the sun and welcome the day. The next hymn is number 128, For All That Is Our Life. It was written by Bruce Findlow, who was born in Australia and discovered Unitarianism during World War II. In 1954, he moved to Oxford, England, and studied religion. He served congregations in Edinburgh, Worcestershire, before becoming the principal of Manchester College in Oxford. The voice you'll hear leading this hymn is Amy Brabson, one of our members.
For all that is our life, we sing our thanks and praise. For all life is a gift, which we are called to use to build the common good and make our own days glad. For needs which others serve, for services we give, for work and its rewards, for hours of rest and love, we come with praise and thanks and make our own days glad. For sorrow we must bear, for failures, pain and loss, for each new thing we learn, for fearful hours that pass, we come with praise and thanks and make our own days glad. For all that is our life, we sing our thanks and praise. For all life is a gift, which we are called to use to build the common good and make our own days glad.
Whoever you are, wherever you come from, whatever age, identity, history, ability, gender, sexual orientation, or political affiliation, you are welcome to bring your full self here, even into this virtual space where we gather together. Grounded in faith, we come together to nurture the spirit, inspire hope, and bring into being a more just and loving world. My name is Reverend Anya Samler Michael, and I am joined here by Reverend Scott Samler Michael. You are finding us in our dining. There are moments when I feel complete denial, and others where I am held by acceptance. There are flashes of a deep anger and wells of an overwhelming sadness. No matter what you're feeling, know you are not alone. Take care of yourself, take care of your family, take care of your friends, take care of your community. We will get through this together. It's time to light our chalice, a beacon to guide us through these troubling times. Perhaps you have a chalice or a candle at home, anything that you can illumine. Let's light our collective chalices together as we share our chalice lighting affirmation. Let us open our eyes to see what is beautiful. Let us open our minds to learn what is true. And let us open our hearts to love one another.
We enter into this space of depth each as we're called. Some finding a soft meditation, a deep reflection, an ardent prayer. Each as we are called, yet mystically all together. We enter into this space by hearing the lamentations, requests, and remembrances of our community. Let us hear one another to heal one another. First, for Loretta Freeman, who sadly died this past Tuesday evening. Loretta was one of the sweetest people you could ever meet. She did much with her 97 years on this earth. We look forward to celebrating her life together at the appropriate time. We have a candle for Peg Sipe and Tony Schumann, who grieved the loss of Michael Sorkin, beloved colleague, comrade, and friend. Peg adds, "It's really hard to lose him. He really loved the world." We light a candle also for Oracle Sky, whose daughter Isis and son-in-law Chris, along with their 2 children, are stuck in Peru amidst this pandemic, unable to return home. The family is deeply concerned for their safety. I'd also like to pause to recognize the lovely flower arrangement pictured on our Facebook home page. This was donated by Kitty Kalina Bessie and David Bessie. They made this donation in recognition and support of our community. For these and for those movements of soul kept within our hearts, we remember that we hear one another in hopes of healing one another. And may our listening bring forth acts of love. Please join me in a spirit of prayer. Spirit of life, known in so many ways, by so many names. Gracious power of unfolding love, known completely by no single name. This morning we gather in virtual but very real ways, to be present to one another, to build community in this new forum, to comfort one another in that common struggle through which we are all currently living. We gather to hear one another's dreams and fears and to bring hope and perspective for all that is our life, though our lives seem suspended in time. Still, we bring our thanks and our praise and hope to build the common good. My colleague Wayne Arneson shares this: "Take courage, friends. The way is often hard, the path is never clear, and the stakes are very high. But take courage, for deep down there is another truth. You are not alone." No matter what you are feeling, please know that you can go on, that you have deep wells of strength that you may never have imagined possible. I pray that you become filled with that strength, enough for yourselves and for those around you. And as we have this enforced pause to our daily routines, we cannot help but notice that life on earth goes on. The spring season is now upon us. So let us welcome the life-giving rain that will shower on us and bring new life to the earth. May we keep in our hearts those on the front lines of this pandemic. Let us keep in mind all those who will suffer disproportionately during this crisis. And let us deepen our prayers into this silence. In the name of all that each of us calls holy within, we pray. Amen.
Amen.
When I was a child, I'd run and hide at the smallest hint of rain. A sliver of gray in the clouds, I'd be under a chair. The thunder would crash and the lightning would flash, and I'd cry at the sight of it all, curled up in a ball neath the wall of the curliest hair. And I'd stay there for hours, so afraid of the anger I saw in the sky, till my mother would come and dry up all the rain that I'd cry. She'd say, "Don't be afraid of the power of life. Open your eyes to its wonder, just as your heart should be open to joy. So it must let in the thunder. Sun that you long for is hidden from view, and only the shadows remain. But that's when you see the true beauty of life, when you learn how to welcome the rain." Time passes on, I'm no longer a child, and I've learned a thing or two. I've learned there are wounds that a mother cannot kiss away. Though I find I still like to hide, I have learned that her lesson is true. If pain comes with love, then the pain is a small price to pay. We all put up umbrellas to protect us from torrents of feelings that pour. But shouldn't we remind ourselves what feelings are for? Oh, don't be afraid of the power of life. Marvel as heavens reveal it. Untie the ribbon and open the gift. Thanks stormy stars, you can feel it. Open your ears to the music of life while there's time to repeat the refrain. If you yearn to embrace all the passion in life, you must learn how to welcome the rain. Bring on the hurricanes, let the winds blow. I'll match the wind roar for roar. Life's not about being safe, staying dry. Life's about begging for more. So don't be afraid of the power of life. Open your eyes to its wonder, just as your heart should be open to joy. So it must let in the thunder. Sun that you long for is hidden from view, and only the shadows remain. But that's when you see the true beauty of life, when you learn how to welcome the rain. If you yearn to embrace all the passion in life, you must learn how to welcome the rain.
Welcome the rain. Welcome the rain. A call to be present in the moment, to the feelings, to the truth, whatever moment, no matter how chilling and how hard, no matter how fast our heart is beating, no matter how much we want to jump back or jump ahead, to be present, to welcome the rain. A challenge at any time, but a challenge for these days, especially days when the news in other parts of the world unfolds like a map to tell us where we will be tomorrow. A challenge when social isolation means that presence is presence to oneself. in an immediate and pervading manner, presence to oneself can be so terribly hard. A challenge of the spirit of the whole person, of the whole community, to be certain. I feel this challenge. I feel this challenge. And when I am most challenged, I rely on metaphor and on story. Metaphor and story help me to enter my challenge from a side door, see things from a new angle. The story I want to share with us today comes from China, but is known throughout much of the East Asian world. The version that I know is called Confrontation, and it's collected in a book called 100 Wisdom Stories from Around the World. Confrontation. No bounds. As far as we can discover, said one of the general's minions, the only living person here for miles around is an old, holy person living in an hermitage just outside the village. Without any more ado, the general marched to the hermitage, determined to see the Holy One. After a search, he found the hermit quietly meditating. The general was furious that the holy man refused to acknowledge him as conqueror. He shouted at the holy man, "Don't you know who I am? You are looking at the man who could strike you dead without batting an eyelid." The holy man raised his eyes and fixed his gaze steadily on the raging commander. "Don't you know that you are looking at a man who can be struck dead without batting an eyelid?" For a moment, the general was speechless, fixed by the cool gaze of the holy man. Then he bowed low, called his troops together, and left the village without doing any more damage. In these times, I hear 1,000 different metaphors emerge from this story, but I am drawn just to the central one, how the hermit who welcomed the rain, of threat and bluster, met the adversary face to face, and by doing that stole from the adversary the one thing that the adversary sought: complete power over, absolute power over. And how did the hermit, the holy man, the lone soul hold on to personal power? By welcoming whatever would come. Whatever may come? Can I welcome whatever may come? Can I welcome whatever may come? I can welcome social distancing. I can even welcome my anxiety and my fear, knowing that they are natural and relevant. But can I welcome the death of a loved one? To that, I am not resigned. Edna St. Vincent Millay said this. She said, "I am not resigned," in a bereavement poem. Down, down, down into the darkness of the grave, gently they go, the beautiful, the tender, the kind, quietly they go, the intelligent, the witty, the brave. I know, but I do not approve. and I am not resigned. I am not resigned, and I do not approve. But I do, and I must bear witness. I must be present to the rain. Welcoming the rain is not celebrating the rain, but letting it touch me. The way the death of Loretta Freeman settles like an emptiness in all who mourn her. The way friends and family who are sick voice their fear. The way we share the truth of our anxiousness, our worries, our sadness whenever we gather online. I will challenge myself to be present to the rain as I know that you are challenging yourselves to be present like the hermit, like the Holy One was present to the general, not resigned. Not resigned to the terror, but capable of looking at it, at the threat right between the eyes. That is how we win some of our power back, with our presence, not resigned, but holding steady. Because when we give our presence, we can see clearly both what the threat can take from us and what it cannot ever take. And one thing it cannot take is this moment right now, and you and us, and the love that I feel, and the blessing that I experience every time I breathe in and breathe out, and every time you smile, the blessing I experience every time you smile, regardless. And speaking of smiles, my dear one, my dear ones, we need them. And a member of our congregation, Nancy Silverman, sent us one that we can share. And Nancy told me this story. She bought this ball for her kids 18 years ago. It cost $5 at the dollar store. The kids played with her. And yes, they called the ball her. Her because, as Nancy says, she's family now. The kids played with her for years and they never had to blow her up ever. She blew down the street several times and went missing for several days, yet each time a neighbor brought her back. And then a few days back in their house after her run, Nancy thought of her, this ball, and rummaged through her family's garage and was so thankful that she was still there. And Nancy adds, she's a little mushier, but aren't we all? So thankful that she was there. So thankful that she was still there, as I am so thankful that you are still here, as I am so thankful that whatever the joys are that we are missing, so thankful that they will, I believe, return a little mushier perhaps. But they will, in a time to come, after the rain, after the storm. Amen. I want to give you a reflection question, something to reflect on this week by yourself or with others. What are the simple joys? What are the simple joys that are sustaining you now? What are the simple joys that keep returning to accompany you through this time of trial? We're going to sing together. Our hymn is, I Know I Can. I know I can go on.
Though day
about to receive a wonderful gift from our MESH, Montclair Emergency Services for the Homeless program. They've been doing great work to keep their service to the homeless going. This is a video they put together, an invitation for us to contribute.
Hey everybody, this is Catherine Council. I am a member here and also a frequent volunteer and helper at MESH. And just wanted to tell you that we are still, forging ahead with our service here. And we're doing things differently because everybody's doing it differently now.
We cook separately when we can, keep our volunteer numbers low to maintain social distancing, continue to practice good hygiene as always, and now wear fabulous masks, made and delivered by our own Christine Grasso. We are now packaging and delivering our meals along with hot coffee and tea to our guests at the Salvation Army. We miss offering the comfort and dignity that comes with a sit-down meal and are saddened to see our guests struggle to find a place to eat, use the restrooms, socialize, and rest. But we're all doing the best we can, and our food continues to be a source of comfort for those whose struggle is hard to fathom. Your donations help us continue to connect with and serve those most in need throughout this uncertain time. We couldn't do it without you, and even though we are apart, we know you are together with us.
It's beautiful to be able to peer in behind the scenes and see what's going on Wednesday evenings every week at our congregation. Great thanks to Catherine Council, one of our MESH leaders, who created the video for us. Please, if you are able, give to our MESH ministry. There are two different ways to give. You can go to our congregation's website and from the home page, press the donate button and navigate through the pages to be able to give directly to MESH. Or you can text to give. Text to 73256 and then enter UUCM MESH and your dollar amount. After you enter your information, just be sure to click process. It's easy to give, even now, even in this virtual space. All of your gifts are worthy, and they are all received with joy. Though trouble waits at every turn. I know. We can go on.
That's right.
I know we can go on. Will you say this with us? Take courage, friend. Otherwise, you are in our hearts. Go in peace. May you be well.